two major types are there, communicable and the non-communicable diseases, right? So
Yes,
Gautam
ma'am.
is not drinking milk. So it is his problem or my problem? It will spread to me? His problem,
His
right?
problem.
Okay. Shresha is drinking milk, so that is her actually choice, not my choice, right? So whatever benefit she is going to get, only her body will be getting it, right? But Gautam, whatever the disadvantage he is going to get, he will be getting it, right? So it's up to us actually, whatever we want to drink, whatever we want to eat, we should take it or not. Like you might have learned in the class 6 about the deficiency diseases, right? Vitamin A. If we do not
Yes,
take the
ma'am.
vitamin A sources, then what happened? Night blindness. So if I am not taking vitamin A, I will be causing the eye problem. I'll be getting the eye problem, not you actually, right? If I am not taking the iron sources, I will be getting the anemia, not you. Correct? So
Ma'am,
these diseases, yeah.
ma'am, there is no cure for the night blindness, right, ma'am?
See, if it is noticed in the earlier stages, it can be cured. But if not in the earlier stages, then it cannot be cured, right? So the diseases which does not spread from one person to other person, they are the non-communicable diseases. Like vitamin, like night blindness, you have anemia, then you have the goiter. So scurvy, rickets, they do not spread from one person to other person. It depends upon your actually nutrients, whatever nutrients you are taking. If you are taking those nutrients, you will be fit and fine. If you do not take it, then you will be getting the problem, but not the others. Whereas the diseases which spreads from one person to the other person, they are called as a communicable diseases. Like COVID-19 time, what happened? The same thing happened. It was a communicable diseases from one person to the other, from one country to the other country, then across the globe, everywhere we had that, right? So that is what actually the communicable diseases which keep on spreading. And those diseases which are across the globe, those are called as a pandemic, basically. Fine. Pandemic is basically across the globe. The same disease is there across the globe.
Ma'am,
So in
sir,
the
COVID-19 a pandemic?
yeah, it was a pandemic. That is why the name pandemic was given to that. And there's a one more word, epidemic. Okay. Pandemic is across the globe. Epidemic means in that particular country, you will be getting that disease. Okay. So let us start with that topic of diseases. My screen is visible to you all?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So pathogens and communicable diseases, how infectious agent cause diseases. So there are certainly some agent. Agent means agent. Who are the agent? They are the carrier. They will be transmitting the diseases from one person to the other person. So that
Like
is
the
why they are
mosquitoes.
correct, right? The mosquitoes. They will be transferring the pathogens from one place to the other place, or from one person to the other person. So how these come again?
Houseflies also, ma'am.
Correct, houseflies also. So they will be acting as a carrier to transfer the diseases. So introduction, has this ever happened to you? So what this girl is doing, sneezing, right? So a student next to you in the class has been coughing and sneezing all day. You feel fine that day, but you also come down with a cold 2 days later. So it happens normally when you go to the school. If any one of your friend is sneezing or coughing, that day you will be okay, or maybe next day also will be okay. But in a day or two, you also get that problem. Actually, you also get the coughing or sneezing problem. So what do you think is the reason behind this?
Ma'am,
So this is because of the
when we sneeze or cough, the saliva infection, like the cold and the cough will be like the virus will be in our saliva.
Not actually, we do not say it as saliva, we say it as air droplets. Okay, so air droplets will come out actually from the we actually sneezing. Then what happened? Those water molecules will come out in the air, and they start spreading the diseases. So common colds are caused by a virus that triggers inflammation in the lining of the nose and throat. So this common cold is generally a very, very, natural thing. We will be getting it most of the time. If it is too hot, we will get it. If it is too cold, we will get it. So generally it spreads due to the inflammation in the lining of the nose. So in the nose and the throats, what happened? Our inflammation, kind of itching or the readiness will be there, because of which we start getting the cold. Diseases like the common cold are contagious and can be passed from one person to the another. Contagious means it can be transferred from. Correct. So what are some other examples of communicable diseases and how do they spread? So what are the other examples of it and how it can spread from one person to the other person? So today you will first thing identify the key structure and functions of virus, bacteria, protist. Protists are basically the protozoa only. Okay, they are what? They are the protozoa. So we will be learning about their structure. We will be learning about their functions also. Then second thing, explain how viruses, bacteria, protista, which are the protozoa, and fungus, they spread diseases in human and plants. So how they will be transferring the diseases in the humans and the plants. And third thing, name examples of communicable diseases in humans and plants. So some examples we should give, which causes the diseases in humans and plants. So pathogens, these are microbes that cause the diseases. So the microorganisms that causes the diseases, they are called as pathogen. A disease caused by a pathogen are called as the communicable diseases. So those diseases which are caused due to the pathogen, what they are called as? They are called as the communicable diseases. Or we can also say that those diseases which spread from one person to the other person, they are also called as the communicable diseases. But see now, children, you are in the grade 8, right? You should use the word pathogens. So they will be, just 1 minute, children, 1 minute. Okay. So the disease caused by the pathogen, they are the communicable disease, meaning it can spread from one organism to the other organism. So four main types of pathogens are there: bacteria, fungus, virus, protist. So what do? They causes the disease in the humans as well as in the plants. Now, how actually they spread the diseases? They are the three different modes. So we call them as modes of transmission. So there are the three different modes of transmission. The first one, direct contact. Like generally you might have seen directly we are coming in contact with that person. So it involves physical interaction.
Have like COVID.
Like in the school, you are saying, yeah. So we
Your
reaction
voice
with
is
the
breaking,
infected
ma'am.
individual, such as through blood or the bodily fluid. It's breaking. For others also it is breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it
Yes,
is okay.
Now is it working?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So here the bodily fluid means it can be the saliva. It can be, through the water which comes out through the sneezing. It
Ma'am,
can be the urine also. It can be the sweat also. It can be the excreta also. Okay.
Sadly
So these
days.
are. Hmm?
Or even when we be eating these foods that others eat, or the
Correct.
water others drink water.
Correct. So if you have that kind of the physical interaction, then we call as a direct mode of transmission. The second way is indirect contaction. So it involves the exposure to pathogen via the contaminated surfaces like the food, soil, or air. Now COVID-19 basically was actually the indirect. So directly we were not getting it, but through the air we were breathing it and then we were getting it. Then sometimes what happens on the food, the flies, they come and they sit on it. And when they sit on that food, they release the pathogens to it. And ultimately, those pathogens, what do? They start giving the diseases. Then third thing, vector, they require organisms to spread the diseases like the mosquitoes, mice, and the ticks. So these are the three different ways by which the pathogens can spread: direct, indirect, and then the vectors. Vectors, basically, they are the organisms which will be transferring the diseases. Now, the first one, bacteria, the main feature. So, see, this actually.
Ma'am, can you go to the before slide one?
Yeah. Shall I go to the next one now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, for each and every kind of the microbe or the pathogen, I can say, there is a features given. These features are very, very important, children. Not for your grade 8, but actually for your grade 9 and 10. So you should know about their structure also. So this is the structure of the bacteria. Can you see in the center? This is the bacteria structure. Okay. And the different parts of the bacteria structure are given or labeled there. Talking about the plasma membrane, this is the membrane which surrounds the bacteria. Fine. And the outermost layer is called as a cell wall. So outermost layer in them is a cell wall. The second layer which is present is the plasma membrane. Now, there is a difference between both actually. Cell wall is present in the bacteria as well as in the plants. We humans, we do not have this cell wall. So are you aware, children, what is cell wall? Basically, tell me first of all, so that I should explain you about the cell wall, or should I go ahead? Do you know about cell wall, anything?
Ma'am, it's like a wall between
No?
living and not living.
The cell has the main disease like
No, okay, I'll just tell you, I'll just brief you about cell wall. And children, you know, after this chapter, I'll start the chapter cell, because the chapter crop production is, you know, the chapter I think is going on in your school also, and it's not so very important. The cell chapter is very, very important because everything is, you know, relied on that chapter. So cell wall, Shrestha, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me. Tell me.
Ma'am, in that case, can you just explain the nitrogen cycle once from
Sure. Nitrogen cycle is basically the part of this chapter only. We have done it, but I'll explain it again, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, just 1 minute. Cell wall, what happens? See, we have two types of cells actually. One is in the animals, one is in the plant. Fine, two categories we have, the plant and the animals. We come under the category of plants or animals?
Animals.
Animals. Right? Who is simple in structure, the plants or the animals?
Plants.
The plants, they have the simple structure, whereas the animal has a complicated structure. Okay, who can move? The plants can move or the animals can move?
Animals.
Animals can move. Okay, now I'm giving you a scenario. I'm saying to one plant that the plant has to stand. I have given the punishment to that plant that the plant has to stand there for at least 3 to 4 hours. Okay, and the same punishment I'm giving to you also, that under the sun, under the hot sun, you have to stand at least for some 4 to 5 hours as a punishment. Now, what happened to both the things? To the plants and to the animals, what happens?
Ma'am,
the animal gets started and then
One by one. Wait. One by one. Yeah, Shesha, tell me.
the animal basically gets tired and they can't stand for very long and they get tired and start sleeping.
Well,
Well,
can
on
you
the
repeat the
other
question again?
Wait, last year. I'll repeat it. Yeah, Shesha, continue.
on the other hand, plant really doesn't feel anything and it just stands.
Okay. Coming to Gautam. Yeah, tell me, Gautam.
Ma'am, the plant, nothing will happen to it, ma'am, because it is adapted to the sunlight.
Okay.
And the animals, when they stand, we get tired and we don't our legs will start paining, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Gagna, any other thing apart from this too?
Ma'am, they'll stand as they'll do their normal routine of photosynthesis.
Okay. Fine. Last year, my question was that one plant got the punishment that the plant has to stand in the sunlight for 4 to 5 hours, and at the same time, one of you has also got the same punishment that you have to stand under sun for 4 to 5 hours. Now, in both the condition, what happens? Okay.
Ma'am, if it is sunset or sunrising time, we get
Sun, hot sun.
ma'am. Firstly, we get the sunstroke, ma'am. Then we feel ill, we get tired, and we get the drowsy feeling and we fall down.
Okay, so I'll tell you what happened basically. The plants, they have a layer actually, a kind of wall is there on their body, which is called a cell wall. Okay, so with the help of that cell wall, they will be able to withstand all the scenarios, whether it is high temperature, whether it is low temperature, whether it is very sunny, whether it is less sunny, whatever the conditions are there, they will be able to stand there
Ma'am, but
because
some
of that.
leaves get dried up after some time, right? How does that happen then?
That layer are different actually. Those are called as the epidermis. They have the different xylem, phloem, all those things are different. But cell wall is different. Cell wall will be helping them to withstand those conditions. Fine, it does not allow any kind of the hot temperature, cold temperature, water, any other substances actually, to harm the plants. Whereas if I talk about the animals or the humans, what happens? We do not have the cell wall. Now, this skin is actually the outermost layer, right? So this skin comes in direct contact with the sun, and because of that, we might feel, so hot and we start running. You will not be thinking like, the ma'am has given me the punishment. Without thinking, you will start running because you are in the pain, right? Your skin is in the pain and all. So
Some
that
like
is the reason.
burning, ma'am. We will be feeling some like burning.
Correct. So we do not have the cell wall. That is the reason we are not able to withstand with that temperature, and we will be answering that. Maybe we will be running, we will be sitting, we will be asking ma'am permission, right? We will be finding out some other way, and with the help of legs, we start walking or running, depending on the. So that's what a cell wall basically. It will be protecting the particular kind of the organism from the outside barrier, outside whatever the temperatures are there. With the help of that, we will be able to find it. So bacteria also have the cell wall. Now, if I say bacteria have the cell wall, then they come under the plants, right? So bacteria is actually, a kind of the organism who has a cell wall, and they are the organism. So they have the cell wall. With the help of the cell wall, they will be getting protected. And then they have a kind of the hair-like structure, a long hair-like structure, which is called as the flagella. Can you see my screen?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No. Okay, let me share it again. Let me share it again. Now, is it visible to you? Is it visible to you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just a minute.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, we will be even saying like if the typhoid is there, how we will be getting the typhoid, like the which bacteria it is.
Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi. We will be learning about that also.
Yes, ma'am. Like I didn't understood about that. Like in the school they told me, but I didn't got it. So like.
Okay. So they have this hair-like structure. Can you see this part? They have the hair-like structure. This is called as a flagellum, or this is also called as flagella. Flagella. So this flagellum helps the bacteria to move. Fine. plasma membrane and the cell wall, they will be helping them as a kind of the barrier for the other climates and all. Flagella will be helping them to move. Then there is a kind of the small hair-like structure. They attaches the cell surface to the host. So with the pilus, with the small hair structure, the bacteria will be attaching to the other kind of the host. Then they have a small plasmid, a small round-like structure which is present in the bacteria. So they will have the DNA. The
Our body, like our skin, won't have this type of this type of features, right?
No, we have very advanced feature actually in our body. Very advanced feature. We do not have this because bacteria are, they are not so developed. That is why they do not have the complex structure. But we have a very complex structure. And that is the reason it is very difficult. See, if I talk about the brain itself has so many different regions or so many different parts, and each part has a different function. Then if I talk about the hands also different, different cells, different tissues are there. So each and every body parts of us has a different role, different function, different tissues and different cells. Whereas the bacteria, only these 4 to 5 structures they have. Fine, so which you are able to see on the screen. So pilus, plasmid, DNA, cell wall, only few things they have in their body, and that is the reason they are not getting so much affected, and that is also the reason they multiply so soon.
That's so like the animal skin is better, ma'am, or our skin?
No, definitely our skin actually.
Okay.
Our skin is better because we are able to move, we are able to do everything, and other animals also have the skin which is actually depending upon the adaptation. Right, if I talk about the polar bear, they have a different type of the skin which is a very fatty layer, a thick layer of skin will be there. So depending upon the animal to animal, it has actually. So these bacteria, they are single cell organisms. They do not have the nucleus. Even though bacterial cells have a simple structure, they vary in different ways depending on the species. So this is actually a general kind of the structure of the bacteria, but depending upon the variety of the bacteria, the structure may vary. So they causes a disease like the salmonella infection, which is actually, they generally cause the typhoid. So the bacteria called as the Salmonella typhi, Typhi. So Salmonella typhi is a type of the bacteria which causes the typhoid. So you might have, see, I'll just tell you a few things about the typhoid. So generally what happened in the case of the typhoid? Pranav, you want to say something? Pranav, are you saying something?
Ma'am, it is previous, ma'am. Like I want to say that that's why bacteria can survive anywhere in this world, right?
Correct.
Because
Correct. Exactly. Since they have the cell wall, they can survive in any of the conditions, any of the climatic condition, any of the temperatures and all. Okay. And the same goes for the plants also. They can also withstand with any conditions. Okay. So
I
yeah.
have done reproduction in animals in NCERT book, ma'am.
In school?
No, ma'am.
By yourself? Okay, fine. Okay, that's good.
Ma'am,
Okay.
I have a doubt, ma'am.
Tell me, Rasya.
The word typhi is the plural one, or like that?
See, typhi and typhi, both are the different, they're not the different actually, singular and plural thing only. But we generally use a typhi because only one cannot be, right? One bacteria does not infect everybody, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, yes.
So, so I was actually talking about the Salmonella typhi. What happens when you might have seen, I have written capital S, then small a L M O N E L L A. Then I've given space, then I've written small t, actually, not capital T, small t I have written, then small y P H I, right? I should have written it in the capital itself, the word typhi. Can I write in the capital T?
No, ma'am.
Why? Why, Gautam? No.
Ma'am, because I think they're both combined.
Actually, they both have the same name of the microbe or the pathogen, but what happens There's a scientific rule actually to write when we write the scientific name. So Salmonella typhi is a scientific name of a bacteria. So when we write that name, there are certain rules to follow it. Okay, and according to that rule, what do? The first letter will be in the capital letter, and the second word first letter will be in the small. Like if I talk about the humans, the scientific name of the human is Homo sapiens. Okay, so in case of, yeah, tell me, Pranav.
Homo sapiens, ma'am. I have this book also in my home.
Okay, right. Homo
Ma'am, I have
sapiens.
one doubt.
Tell me.
Ma'am, you said the cell wall of a bacterium or any type of microorganism, it can withstand any type of temperature because of the cell wall. Then why
Hmm.
do we, when we heat or when we place in the freeze, when we freeze them, why do the microorganisms sleep?
Microorganism.
Die, ma'am.
See, if already your milk is affected or already your food is affected outside, for example, if I kept the bread packet outside, I'm keeping it. Then slowly and gradually the microbes have affected it. But we were not aware. What I did, I kept in the fridge. Now what happened? Already the microbes are there. If you keep them in the fridge, what happens? There will be no impact on that. Whatever the numbers were there of the microbes, they will be there. They do not multiply further. Fine. So you have to make sure that before keeping in the refrigerator, they do not have any kind of the infection. That is the reason, like when you keep it, they do not work actually. But if they are there before itself, the number remains the same. They do not multiply.
So they do not die actually. They just stop multiplying.
They stop multiplying. They will not die actually. They do not die. If I wanted to take the infected bread, I can take it out. I can see under the microscope. The same microbe you will be able to see it. The fungus you will be able to see it.
Ma'am, the bread which have the fungus, ma'am,
Ma'am, the
it is
pasteurization.
Correct.
Pasteurization.
Pasteurization is different actually. The process is different, not about the microbe. Yeah, Lasa, tell me.
ma'am, if the
So,
Yeah, anyone can tell me. Tell me, Shrishta.
Okay. Ma'am, so basically, any microbe, they cannot die, so they live forever.
See, certainly they do not die. That is the reason we say them as a immortal. They are present everywhere. They do not die. Whatever you do, whatever you try doing it, they do not die it. The only thing is they stop giving their effect.
Ma'am, there is no,
Okay.
ma'am, is there any way that we can break the cell wall?
No, actually, we cannot break it. We cannot see themselves, then how we'll be breaking it? But yes, the scientists, they are working on it. So what they are trying to actually, isolate them. Isolate them means to keep it separately in some machines and all.
the prevent
And
like revive.
yeah, and then they are working on it. But still, there is no way to do that. Fine. So that is how we, do the things. The bacteria, they will be working continuously. They will be working. If we are taking, like for example, now I got any kind of the disease. If I am taking the medicine, I'm taking the antibiotics. We have discussed about antibiotics, right? So if I am taking that particular antibiotics in my body, then what happened? Those bacteria will not die actually. They just stop the growth of them, and their infection will reduce or it will not work. So the microbes, once they are there, we cannot make them to die in any case. Like suppose the algae are there in the water, they multiply very fast. You cannot, there's no way actually to remove them from the water. You can remove them, but again they will start coming. If any place they have the still water, then they start working on it.
The
So
same place, ma'am.
Ma'am,
correct.
then we say that they have filtered water. Then what are they even filtering?
When we are filtering it, what we are doing, chemicals we are using it, right, with the help of that machine. So because of that, they do not grow it.
Ma'am,
And generally in our normal RO water, tap water, we do not have the algae. But yes, if the upper tank is not being cleaned by the person or by individual, then in that case we might get it.
we will get algae.
Yes, we get the algae in the normal tap water also.
Ma'am, if the fungus is there for a tomato or a bread, at the side, if the bread has the fungus and the tomato has the fungus, we can cut it and eat the other side. it is.
See, generally we are doing that only, right? So if the tomatoes, half of the tomato is spoiled and the half is fine, what we are doing, half we are cutting it and then we are using it. The half remaining we are using it. See, the infection does not
a
spread.
harmful, ma'am.
It is actually, it is. But we Indians, we want to save money. We want to save the resources. That is the reason we are doing it, right? So what happens? You might have seen sometimes in tomatoes, one small black color structure will be there. That is actually the infection of the microbe. So those kind of tomatoes you should not use it because they will be infected the tomato completely from inside. You will be seeing, you will be, when you cut it, you will not be finding anything, but already that black color dot like structure has infected it. Fine. Then other things you might have seen in the different vegetables, actually a kind of the yellow color structure appears in the bhindis or the lady's finger, you will be getting it. So different diseases are there depending on the type of it. Fine. So those, and you might have seen in the pulses also, like in the pulses or in the chanas or the kidney beans, what happened? There will not be the micro, but there will be the small insects which will be moving in and they will make a hole actually. There is correct. They make a hole because they start eating them, and once they eat them, that space will get the hole actually. That area will get the hole. So it works like that. Yeah, Pranav, you are saying something?
Like, then what is the term to kill the bacteria means, ma'am? Like, I have heard lots of times that to kill bacteria.
See, I also
Then
say,
it is
I
immortal.
also say, correct. I also say, Pranav, like if we boil if we boil the water, then we kill the bacteria. But generally, does not happen. We just reduce the impact of the bacteria. We feel like the bacteria are being killed, but whosoever the bacteria was there, they will not do any kind of the infection to us. And that's the reason we say that we have killed the bacteria. Okay. It is like, you are seated here and you have asked to do some work. Your body is here, and by talking, you are doing the work. Fine. But the moment I said not to talk, you are seated, like simply are seated, right? Same way, when we are boiling the water, whatever the bacteria were there, they were working. But when we started boiling it, those bacteria, they are there in the water, but they are not doing any kind of the problem to it.
But the algae, like where the algae is there, the water when we drank, like the few personalities won't be happening to like few personalities won't be getting any infection or like disease type of.
See, everybody's body is different. Mine is different. Yours is different. Everybody's body is different. So depending on the body, it depends how much faster rate you get the diseases or how much slower rate you get the diseases. So it is not important that everybody will get the disease by the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So how can the heating effect stop the working of bacteria, ma'am?
See,
Like how?
yeah, they will be getting the heatness of the flame. Fine, because of that reason, then what happened? They do not work for some time. But again, when we cool it down, then what happened? They start working again.
Okay, ma'am.
But we feel like they are dead. Actually, they are not. So we are making ourselves fooled. Okay, children, so we'll continue in the next class. And I'll be sending you some work. So complete that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, when is
Okay.
the next class?
When is the next class? Saturday only?
Saturday.
Oh, we don't have it on another day between.
No, we don't have actually.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
children. Okay. Thank you.
I have my son.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
When, Shrishta? When?
Next Friday.
Which chapter?
Crop production and management.
So
I
no
didn't
issues.
understand the nitrogen cycle.
In that case, what I'll do is I'll share you a very interesting video. Okay, go through that video, nitrogen cycle video, and if in case you still find out any difficulty, let me know. Okay, personally, you can message me. I'll help you out. But go through that video. By listening to that video itself, you will be very happy and satisfied, and you will be able to understand each and every point of it. Okay, how it works.
Okay.
So three processes are there: ammonification, nitrification, denitrification. All those three processes are explained in a very, very good way.
But we have that in the like the microorganisms chapter.
Yeah, already we did that out actually.
Okay.
So I'll explain her. Okay, Ashesha, right away I'll share that video with you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.